Hey guys, Austin McClure here with McClure's Guide Service on Truman Lake. Gonna do a little fishing report ice update for the last week of January going into first weekend of February. Um, Mainly been fishing crappie this last week. A lot of ice, so a lot of these catfish areas, etc., are gonna be not ideal, but you can still catch them. They're deep in the channel. A little deep, you have to burp a lot of fish. Crappie wise, though, I've been focusing mainly on a lot of the bluffs on the main lake, channel swings, creek mouths, bluff mouths, anything with some structure, pretty much on the channel edge where a mouth meets that channel edge, and they'll have fish on it. A lot of these fish are going to be 20 to 40 foot deep. If you find some in that 30 foot of water, they're probably going to be around 20 to 15, 25. It kind of just depends on the area. That deeper water on the main lake side, you're going to find them more in that 30 to 40 range. They're a little bit deeper water, sitting down just a little bit deeper, active for the most part. If you find some fish that aren't eating, it's likely you just need to try something else to get them to eat. I've been running the same jigs for the last, I think, 7 or 8 trips I've ran this week. I haven't changed anything I've been doing besides my presentation. Some schools of fish want it moving on days, and some do not. So if I can get it out 30, 40 feet and cast past them and bring it over the top of that pile, and fish seem to react and chase, and I'll continue to do that. If they're not going to react and chase, I'll try to get up on them, on top of them, even spot lock if you run a pole mount, vice versa, however your setup is. And drop down to the top of the school, just like I said last week, and just dead stick it. Hold it still and see if you trigger a bite that way. Between the dead sticking and casting, I haven't had an issue at all with getting these fish to bite. I've fished pretty much different areas every day. I've had schools of, easily 10, 20,000 crappie in one school, and they bit just fine, one way, and then pull to another school, same amount of fish, and they may want it a little different. It's just depending on that area and that activeness of them fish at that time. Between them two patterns, though, and presentations, you can get these fish to eat down here in the lower end of the lake. I'm going to show you guys kind of exactly what I've been using. I get a lot of questions, which it's always the same thing, but for everybody that maybe hasn't seen it and has asked the last couple of days, it's just as always, my plastics. I'm running a Harms lure. You can find them at harmslure.com. Cody's Bait and Tackle. If you haven't used them, you ought to. But all it is, baby shad profile pretty much. But it's a June bug with some silver flake. I call that the June bug shimmer. I don't know how well it is that you can see it in this video, but the flake on that thing is unreal. And then if I'm going to a little bit lighter pattern, just regular shimmer, which is a baby shad pattern, white with that flake right there. It's nothing crazy, nothing wild that I'm using different somebody isn't. Them baits there are my go-to all year. It don't matter color wise. I'm pretty confident in them two colors, and that's really all I personally need in my tackle box. Other than that, that's really fishing wise. It's been true from first 3 miles of Osage, Grand, and Tebow's all fishing the same pretty much. You can find some fish back on a little bit smaller main lake flats on secondary points, brush, some deep bowls with some contour and some structure in it will have fish too off of that summertime brush that you're fishing, on these big flats, come back out in these deeper pockets. Other than fishing, though, that's really, all I could tell you for a crappie. That right there should be fairly easy to find some fish on. Ice-wise, say I'm shooting this Thursday. It's probably about 1 o'clock or so. I ran around this morning. We caught almost 100 fish, I think, in 2 hours. And maybe 2.5 stretching it. And we ran up the Tebow in the fog. It iced up. I mean, there's still ice quite a ways up the lake. Everybody's saying everything's thawing out, which you're having pockets thawing out. But actual fishable water, it's still going to be a little bit, I'd say. I mean, you have big water obviously is open in your mains. Your creeks and stuff that you're going to focus on this time of year, still a lot of ice on those, even after a little bit of rain this morning. Lower end is still going to be your best bet, in my opinion, this weekend. I haven't seen enough open water that's fishable to make me want to go anywhere else. I went up to Tebow and the Osage and stuff I was fishing 3 days ago. Some of that ice is thawing and breaking, but then, you know, when it thaws and breaks off and it floats down, coming to the dam, and you're just running into more issues. That big ice clumping up, refreezing. This morning I seen places of 6-10 inches of ice that had clumped up and broke off, and I can't get the stuff I was fishing yesterday. That's a little bit farther away from the dam, not much. I mean, within 10 minutes on a boat ride, not going very fast. So if it was me, I'd still stick to the Shawnee Long Shoal area if some of that Long Shoal stuff will thaw. State Park has some open water, but the ramp still froze in front of the ramp, so that's not going to do you a whole lot of good as of yet. Hopefully this weekend it'll open up. Other than that, I mean, there's open water all the way to the Pommy, you know, the lower end of the Osage Bluff area. There's water, but it's going to be hard to get to where you want to go and to what you want to fish. So personally, I wouldn't waste a whole lot of time trying to get in them areas. But other than that, hopefully this weekend, beginning of next week, we start getting some more water to thaw out and get the creeks everybody wants to fish this time of year thawed. So as of now, fishing wise, that's really all I've done and all I can really tell you.